Welcome to All the Horror Podcast. Each episode will feature a spine-tingling, creepy horror story that will keep you awake. Enjoy the story.
Listeners, have you ever wondered if there is more to life and death than meets the eye? Prepare to embark on a bone-chilling journey as we delve into the spine-tingling tale of a young boy's pet cat who defied the boundaries of mortality. Join me as we unravel the eerie events that unfolded when an innocent burial in a quiet pet cemetery took a sinister turn, leaving a lasting mark on the protagonist's soul. In the early 1990s, during the 5th grade, I found myself captivated by a black and white feline companion named Bucky. With a fearless spirit, Bucky explored the neighborhood and the dense woods behind our house, often returning with scars from his daring escapades. Yet, deep within my heart, I feared that one day his insatiable curiosity would lead him down a dark and tragic path. That day arrived during a hauntingly still morning of my summer break. Alone at home, the phone call that shattered my fragile peace came from my mother. Her voice trembled with distress as she relayed the news I had always feared. The lifeless body of Bucky lay by the roadside, discovered as she left for work. She had glimpsed his familiar form in the glow of her car's headlights before returning home to place him in a bag in our garage. Grief welled within me, though my tears were not torrents, but a heavy, resigned sorrow. I had always known this day would come. With a heavy heart, I informed my mother that I would bury Bucky in the pet cemetery nestled in the woods behind our neighbor's land. An intimate clearing where a dozen pets found their final resting place, marked by crude wooden crosses and large stones. In somber silence, I made my way to the garage, where the large black garbage bag lay nestled in the corner. I dared not open it, not wanting to face the sight of my cat's lifeless form, not wanting to see the extent of his injuries. Armed with a shovel, I carried the bag and began my contemplative journey into the woods. The early 1990s were plagued with the indelible mark of Stephen King's Pet Sematary, a movie that had gripped my young mind with its terrifying tale. As I walked down the wooded path on that scorching summer day, images from the film danced through my thoughts. Memories of otherworldly resurrections filled my mind, sending a shiver down my spine as I approached the pet cemetery, nestled near a sloping hill that kissed the edge of a murky swamp. Thrusting the shovel forcefully into the moist earth, I began to dig a shallow grave. My heart heavy with sorrow, I lowered the bag into its final resting place, tears welling in my eyes as I bid farewell to Bucky. Within minutes, the hole was filled, and a makeshift grave marker, nothing more than a nearby stick, adorned the spot where my beloved companion lay. Promising to return and create a fitting tribute, I embarked on the melancholic journey back home. Hours passed, the passage of time marked by the mundane task of preparing a sandwich in the kitchen. Engrossed in my attempt to distract my mind from the painful loss, I was abruptly jolted by a sound that froze me in place, a long, drawn-out meow emanating from the back door. The blood drained from my face as I strained to make sense of the impossible. Another meow followed, accompanied by rapid scratching against the screen door. A familiar pattern, a routine that mirrored Bucky's return from his daring adventures. Panic gripped me as memories of the malevolent feline from Pet Cemetery flooded my mind. A creature reborn from death, hissing and reeking of decay. Was this a figment of my imagination running wild? I couldn't dismiss the possibility. Summoning all my courage, I entered the family room, fixated on the back door. And there it was again, a long, eerie meow, followed by an insistent frenzy of scratching. The urge to call my mother overwhelmed me, but curiosity and dread left no room for patience. I had to confront the inexplicable. Heart pounding in my ears, I reached for the back door handle, gripping it tightly as I slowly opened the portal to the unknown. In that moment, my eyes met Bucky's innocent gaze, his eyes beckoning me to let him in, his hunger revealing nothing amiss. No blood stained his fur, no traces of mud clung to his paws, dispelling any notion of an evil zombie cat. He appeared as if nothing extraordinary had occurred, succumbing to an overwhelming need for answers. I allowed him to enter, his presence filling the room with a familiar warmth. Bucky went about his usual routine, completely oblivious to the terror that had gripped my heart. In the aftermath, I sought solace in rational explanations, attempting to calm the storm of questions that ravaged my mind. Perhaps, in the dim pre-dawn light, my mother had mistaken a similar-looking cat for Bucky. With my cat still gallivanting through the neighborhood, none the wiser to the misidentification that had taken place, I unknowingly buried an unfamiliar feline in the pet cemetery. Days later, my visit revealed the untouched grave I had dug, reaffirming the logical explanation for the events that had transpired. For, dear listeners, the alternative, a beloved pet's resurrection from the dead after burial in a pet cemetery, is a terrifying thought that even the most intrepid among us would prefer to dismiss.